Good evening and welcome everybody to my stream. I am the Netherlad. You may have heard of me somehow, somewhere, somewhen, but hello! We're going to be playing some Scion. I'm very excited because we are going to be starting with a good old-fashioned fight. Or not. But hello, people who are here. Fludis, hoi! Thumkunst, hoi! Sunbury, hee-hoo! But before we start the fight, let's actually jump into the call with everyone and see how everyone's faring. Hoi hoi!
Hello.
Just going to do a little bit of volume control here. How is everybody doing?
You're doing alright.
Pretty good. Well, at least I've been productive today, I think.
Alright.
Hey.
I'm glad that... I hope that gives you a sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, but I'm also tired.
I understand.
I'm in that particularly obnoxious work week where you are given a self-assessment form to fill out.
Oh no.
It is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had to do one in like 6 years.
Oof.
Because they keep forgetting about me, and I like it when they forget about me.
Mm. Blue says, oh god, not self-assessment forms.
Oh yeah, they suck. They suck so much.
And
Like,
Stamkunst odds. Oh no, not assessments.
I think the thing I would like to do is just write "I am good at my job" in big letters and hand it in.
Yeah.
I'm so good at my job, you forgot to give me one of these for 6 years.
And while I've been doing my job, I have not raised a stink about it.
It's like one of the questions is like, how have you innovated your role? And it's like, there is literally no room for innovation in my role.
Hmm.
I copy edit people's words. That is it. There is no room for innovation here. Nothing can be innovated.
Maybe you should start, see how they like that.
I am getting...
I couldn't think of anything to possibly innovate in. I cut down text and write a headline.
I'm getting
Well, you
from
could start
people that-
making your own inserts and make up your own stuff.
I
don't
think I
think
would
that-
be fired.
I think you would too, so don't do that, please. But it was the only way to innovate
I
that.
have added words occasionally to like pad text out so it fits boxes, but
Okay.
but that's the only reason.
Trying to get some volume
I can
control
bump
here.
me up, because the reason why I'm low is because my gain's there, so if I'm still low afterwards, I can bump up my gain.
I've also put up some things here, so... Wondering if it sounds alright now, if it is. It's good now, okay.
Cool. Yeah. I was just tired of a lot of background noise, and eventually it sometimes sounding like I'm on an old radio and tinny and stuff like that, so I'm like, I'm gonna turn down my gain and play with some other settings.
Understandable.
But yeah. Alright. You ready?
I think so.
Okay.
As ready as I will be.
Excellent, excellent. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but last session was kind of a chill session, a little bit of downtime where Omnos went and explored their Nementon, learned some aspects about maybe not necessarily themselves, but what they could influence in the area, and met their little helpers. That we don't talk about their robes.
Nope, we do not. We do
Um,
not mention their robes.
no. They're very fine robes, and their hoods are great. Um, and while Omnos was taking care of a lot of that at the beginning, and the place was coming back to life in a metaphorical sense, the other two, Lou and Virginia, were starting some martial arts training,
Mhm.
mostly on Virginia's benefit. Eventually, they invited Omnos after having a moment to kind of talk about some of the stuff that went on, and to talk with Omnos, as Omnos then began training with them for a little bit before noises a few streets away were heard to what Virginia would recognize as yokai were fighting some of the people who had similar aspects to the gang members that had been accosting Lou. Um, After talking with a mysterious individual there who seemed to be observing the chaos, they decided to go see if they could find someone that they had talked to beforehand, an individual. I believe she gave her name as Ao Shinru. Um, Go see if she had any ideas what was going on, and through some different abilities and some trickery, and in some cases, just the authority of one's presence, um, you ended up going forward upstairs to where Ao Shinru was meeting with another individual.
Sometimes
Um,
you can just walk through a door.
mhm.
Sometimes you can, yeah.
And then, as you were beginning to get ready to either ask your questions or to figure out what's going on, the mysterious figure from earlier had indeed hopped up and busted through the door, much to one of yours dismay in regards to trying to keep an eye on them. Um, and with that in mind, I can find that. And as these two forces kind of stand together, kind of the what's a good word to put in it? The concentration of divinity between you three and these two. It's almost like the air seems to crackle and hairs begin to stand on end. Lou, because I did check your knacks, with your awareness to danger, you can sense no immediate intent to violence, even though the figure who stepped in has about 4 or 5 Oni in the hallway behind them.
Mm-hmm.
But you do notice that they're not really paying you any mind. So, on the off chance that you wanted to step away for whatever reason, you probably could. That being said, as the stranger is taking a look around the area, mostly keeping their eyes on Ao Shinru, is there anything that anyone would like to do?
I think I'll scrape my throat. Excuse me, what's going on here?
Um, Gosh, how would um, so the figure looks over towards you for a moment.
Which of the
Um,
two?
you don't know the one of their names. You know Ao Shinru.
Okay,
So,
the other.
mhm. So she looks over at you for a moment, and
I am still carrying a pole arm through. Like, I've been carrying a pole arm through London. I'm still having that up indoors.
um, Did you want to try to get a read on this individual,
Yes, please.
Virginia? Okay. Let me pull up their stuff here real quick. Go ahead and roll. What are your stats? What are your attributes? That's what I want to know.
Intellect 5, cunning 4.
I would say. Oh, you don't have any empathy or integrity. I
have none.
apologize.
But I have subterfuge. I know what if people are up to shenanigans.
She's not up to shenanigans.
Oh.
She doesn't seem to be that type. If you want to get a better read, I would say cunning and empathy or integrity.
I'll go for cunning integrity. That's one success.
It also kind of... Hey, one success isn't too bad.
I rolled 2 ones.
But you got a success.
I did.
That's fine. Let me take a look here. What is... Okay. Trying to figure out a good way to phrase it. That's part of the problem. As you kind of take a look around, specifically on this individual, but just around in general, I would say that you clock that Ao Jinru is trying to keep herself calm for whatever reason. But this other individual, they seem disciplined. As they kind of take a look over you, it's kind of like they're weighing and clocking you, especially since you're openly carrying a weapon. When you asked what is this about? I'm just going to make a roll real quick. We'll do 6. Since she's making this roll on you guys, if you guys want to, you can. People can make cunning or intellect. And then I'm going to give you a list of 4 here real quick. Academics, empathy, integrity, or occult. And I'm sorry that you don't have any of those.
I have none.
What are the stats again?
The stats are academics, empathy,
I mean the
integrity,
attributes.
cunning, or intellect.
I'll go one of those. 2 successes.
1 success for me.
I don't know if I said this beforehand, but if I did, we're just going to reiterate some information. I would say that 1 success is enough, especially since she's doing the same to you. You clock her as tied to the kami. In a similar way to Virginia. As she does the same looking over Virginia, her lip curls up in a little bit of a sneer. And she simply says, this doesn't really involve you. Doesn't seem to do that to either Omnos or Lou, but specifically Virginia.
In response to that, realizing that this is specifically aimed at me, I retort, well, I'm here, aren't I?
If you'd like to, you could leave then.
No,
She steps aside from the door.
We have business with this lady. I nod my head to Ao Shinru.
Are you trying to... What is your intent with that, out of curiosity?
My intent is to... My intent is to show that we're not going to... I am not going to leave.
Are you so it's mostly just you're not going to leave, you're not trying to hint anything to Ao Jinru or anything like that?
No,
That you
not
want to say?
necessarily.
Okay. Cool. Just making sure. I'm missing one of my defense. No, I don't need it for these people. He shrugs, taking a look back over to Ao Jinru. Is there anything that anyone else would like to do
Lou is going to
during this
add,
small conversation?
yeah, we were just here for like information and stuff. I mean, we can come back later if you want. And I look at Aojinru when I say that and see if she looks perturbed by me suggesting that we're just gonna leave to let this happen. Whatever's gonna happen, to happen.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Omnas is just gonna hang back
Mhm.
and, unless there's an opportunity to involve himself to his benefit, then.
I mean, apparently there's a big fight outside we can keep ourselves busy with.
if you're trying to get a clock on Ao Jinru, I would say cunning, empathy, integrity, or subterfuge in this case.
Go to one of those. 4 successes.
Is this something I can do as well?
Go for it.
Cunning, subterfuge for me. 2 successes.
Right.
And I've got the hiding emotions specialization.
Between subterfuge and the hiding emotion specialization, both of you can clock onto the fact again she is very much controlling her emotions. She is not happy with this intrusion. She's like when you guys came up, it wasn't that she was unhappy with you guys showing up, it was unexpected. But with this, it's kind of like this person is showing or trying to show up my authority. And I don't know who this person is, so I don't know how I'm supposed to handle it right now, type of thing. Definitely part of the politicking related things that, given you know who her father is, or at least supposedly who her father is, Lou, you can kind of get that. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. But as for her being bothered if you guys wanted to leave, she doesn't seem to care. She believes that if things with 4 successes, you can get the sense, Lou specifically, that she believes that she can handle herself in the situation, whatever may happen. But if since no one seems to be getting up or leaving, the stranger turns back to Ao Jinru after stepping aside from the door, and after a bit of a tense moment, takes a deep breath and simply asks, "Do you lead the storm?" And Ao Jinru replies about another moment later. It seems to be stretched longer than it should. "No, I do not." And I didn't pre-roll this. She has a lot with. Oh fuck. Cool. She
Is
has
the DM okay?
3. DM's fine.
Alright.
DM just didn't pre-roll things he should have probably pre-rolled.
No worries.
Yeah. After a few more tense stares, the stranger nods for a bit, looks over back at you guys, and then turns and begins to leave.
Omnos is gonna glance out the window up at the sky.
It is quite stormy. The clouds look very, very angry.
That's just a typical day in London.
Angrier than a typical day.
Okay. Lou raises a hand and says, which door?
Are you going to ask before the
I am
individual?
asking the room. If she happens to still be in it, then, you know.
Ao Jinru moves her hands from where they were resting, or seeming to rest on the desk, which there is clawed marks deep in an unfortunately very expensive desk. She takes a breath.
That's fine. It belongs to this guy. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine. And takes a breath as one of the guards goes forward to shut the door. And she looks over at you, Lou, for a moment, kind of takes a deep breath, and goes, "If I had to guess, the silent storm, but I don't know for sure. Either way, even if she meant the silent storm, I am not its leader."
Is this
Imagine that it's my first day.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
Go ahead and roll. Did you want to say something, Min, while I'm figuring out what to roll?
well, I was just going to ask if this is something I might recall from hazy memory what this means.
Um, if you'd like to, you could make a cunning academics check, Omnos, or an intellect, whichever is bigger for you. Lou, you don't have anything in persuasion. Go ahead
I
and make
forgot
me a
persuasion was a
cunning
skill.
persuasion.
Can I
Real quick.
just imbue a legend here for past life skills?
Absolutely, you can. Then I'll just give it to you.
I wouldn't mind, if it's possible,
Mhm.
help Lou with persuading this lady to
Please.
explain.
Please do. I do not
Yeah.
have persuasion.
How would you like to help?
Um,
Lou persuades people by punching them.
I think Virginia just goes on a bit of a spiel about like, yeah, because we're new at this, and like we see these monsters and we're trying to help, and then these like you guys are
Okay.
here, and I'm just trying to distract
So,
her from the idea of I think I'm trying to persuade her like talking to us and explaining things will make sure that I'm not going to be annoying.
okay. So, then what I will do is we're going to change up the skills for a little bit. Virginia, roll me cunning persuasion. Lou,
Okay.
roll me presence and integrity after Virginia's roll here.
1.
With
But I do have the fast talking speciality.
um but I will say while you're rolling that, Lou, Omnos, as you kind of sit there and filter through a lot of the older information.
Well,
You
I also
realize.
just sort of
Mhm.
realized that it didn't quite work the way I thought it did.
Doesn't matter. I already said it's okay.
All
Don't worry
right,
about it.
but I
Okay.
don't see how it would actually help me in this situation.
Um, let me take a look.
Also,
Like,
I got 3 successes.
made sure I could give myself a specialty, but I don't know what specialty would apply. So,
um, specialties. Yeah, I thought it gave you skills, didn't it?
I
Like
also
the
thought so. My past life skill was not high enough to remember what past life skill does.
Oh no.
But I'll
um
still roll.
okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make that intellect academics, and then we'll say through various we'll give you one enhancement because it gives you 3 specialties to choose from. But it's just kind of like organizations or something like that in regards to it. So we'll give you one enhancement.
Alright.
Um, so with 3 successes, Omnos, your past life skills, going through that, part of the aspect about it that's difficult to kind of pull through is whatever this organization was, it wasn't here in this immediate area, being Europe, um, when you were walking around
Mm-hmm.
last. You had heard of organizations and things on the wind, so to speak. Funny puns. But like a silent storm then was something along the lines of bandits that sometimes marauded shipping aspects over in Asia, type of thing, or land aspects. Stuff that's like, that doesn't affect me. I'm busy trying to make sure I don't die.
Yep. Was a busy time, alright.
Um, Aojinru with 4 successes takes a deep breath for a moment. Goes, the Silent Storm is an organization of individuals that aren't known for being on the correct side of the law most of the time. In regards to history, they followed some storm gods of the kami, and certain individuals have co-opted that because they were sparse, desperate, and really kind of people with an eager, what's the word? An eagerness to them, but no organization drive type. At least from what I'm aware of. Since you're rolling integrity on this, she's being very coy about it, Lou.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, you do kind of get it's organized crime.
Yeah.
It's
So, yeah. Being outside the law. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Certainly you
um
are.
she smirks. And
Sorry, me and these guys have a personal history.
is that so?
Mm-hmm. Makes me very much dislike the fact that you're sitting in that chair. It's not personal, I just don't like that chair.
It's
Are you
not
going to blow it
particularly
up?
comfortable. She looks over to the individual next to her, which you know their name,
Mhm.
and the name is on your sheet.
Yep.
Um, and she looks at him and goes, "So, what happened with our friend over there?" And being kind of in an awkward in between state right now, he's kind of half
Uh,
stammering because
Lou's
he's
got a
heard
big grin on
rumors.
his face. He's just folding his arms like, yeah, go on, tell him. Go on.
He kind of half stammers, stuck between a rock and a hard place, because he's heard the rumors of what you're able to do, and then it's kind of like, wait, how do you know this person who outranks me? Uh, um, well, you see, there was, it was something that happened years ago from what I'm, from what I was, familiar with, and, he's just kind of, like, crooking her eyebrow, very well aware of the ration of shit he's in.
Lou's grin drops, like, immediately in an instant,
Mhm.
and he just says, "How far to get?" Lost in the
Um,
first round, didn't he?
he clams up, and Aojinru looks between the two of you real quick.
And I'm going to walk slowly towards him.
Uh-huh. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Um, she says nothing as she watches you kind of look or walk towards him. Um, he tries to do that thing where he takes a couple of steps backwards so that way he can keep both of you in his sights, type of thing.
Mhm.
Um, and
And my intention is to get close enough that it's uncomfortable.
okay. Um, I'm just gonna he make a roll real quick. Um, knowing your skill and knowing the rumors that have been circulating about you,
I also had put the wallet down before I started walking.
um,
I just remembered I had that.
and knowing your abilities beforehand, he it's kind of that moment where he is definitely visually uncomfortable, but he knows that he can't do much about it because
Mhm.
Ao Shinru is not speaking up, and if she's not speaking up, he can plead all he wants, type of thing. She's definitely given the vibe of this will play out type of thing.
And he just says, "I know you're probably expecting me to ask you to apologize or something, but I'm not the one who needs your apology. That would be my father. Because you stole my future from me, he's had to work day in, day out, every second of every day for so many more years than he ever should have." I'm gonna put our hand on his arm, and I'm gonna activate No Masters.
Okay.
I'm gripping
That is your fun one, right?
Yes.
I'm gripping the pole arm a little tighter.
You strip a character of their authority over others. I
I'm
need
just
to
checking
roll
to see.
manipulation and legend versus composure.
I just want to see um, how long that lasts. Just curiosity.
Duration of the scene, it says. But it says using the spoon on a trivial character is free. I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah, you don't need to imbue a legend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because he has no stats.
Okay. I still have to do the
um,
roll though, right?
nope.
Okay,
Because
good.
yeah, Trick Trouble, like even if he did, that would be what your manipulation. So you'd have 5 dice compared to like his 2. No, trivial characters.
I just want him to have a bad time for the rest of the day.
Yep, I'll allow that.
And it's like, so just keep that in mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And because he's focused on me trying to kill him, I would like to, as I'm turning around to leave, to pick his pocket.
Go for it.
And with light fingered, when you steal an object or pay for someone, you do so without needing to roll, as long as the object is something you can seal in your hands.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can see that.
Do you want to try to perceive it?
Yeah.
Are you trying to hide it from your bandmates?
Let's do a roll anyway, just to see what happens.
Go for it.
Sure.
Dexterity subterfuge on Lou's end.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I would say cunning subterfuge on Virginia's.
2.
2. Okay. Oh.
You
One
do not.
success. Okay. If Virginia ever figures this out, she's gonna be... Well, she's going to be miffed.
Actually, I'm also going to roll if that's
for it.
okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Just for funsies, because
you'll probably find out. Don't worry.
thing is, Omnis doesn't even give a shit either way.
1 dice, 1 success. Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
Here's a
your
question,
cunning
though.
is 1?
Mhm.
Wow.
I'm not very cunning.
No.
I'm very direct.
I get
Omnos is a battering ram.
I get it.
A smart battering ram.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Goes full power on everything. Well, actually, not quite, but almost.
Almost.
And then when Luke gets back to the others, he says, "So what did we come here to ask about again?" Oh, it's why everything suddenly seeming to be kicking off right now, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Do you know what's going on?
I do not. I believe you told me something was happening to one of the buildings down the street that was tied to his, and she gestures towards the other individual.
Dave.
The one that you stole, yeah, Dave. She gestures towards his organization, and then we were rudely interrupted before I could ask any follow-up questions.
Yeah.
So,
Well, she had a bunch of those. What was behind her?
Oni.
Asking the other people. Oni behind her. So maybe that was her thing. Whoever she was.
well,
Could
if
be.
she has reason to believe that this group is tied to the Silent Storm somehow, that would make sense on why she asked. But I don't know what her thing is against them.
I was more asking about why. I think the word is Scions are suddenly becoming a thing
Oh,
again.
right. Well, that is probably not a question that I have the answers to.
Okay, I was just wondering if you knew.
No. Omnos, you would get this because of past life skills, regardless of belief things. Scions are a way for gods to influence the world, or to kind of keep an eye on things without being tied too strongly to fate. So, capital F fate. If more Scions are showing up, it means that whoever it is on whatever side that they're doing is either responding to moves made by other people or are ready to kick off their own plans, type of thing. So,
I think Omnos is going to basically, cross his arms over his chest and take more of an impose. Like, he's been keeping to the background mostly and being kind of disinterested.
Mm-hmm.
But when the conversation shifts to why suddenly there's activity, he's going, and like her saying that she doesn't have the answer, he's going to become more of a presence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's going to say, "You mean to tell me that you have no idea why, shall we say, divine entities are suddenly taking quite a bit of interest and activity in this particular place at this particular time, even though you yourself are
I know
involved?"
why I'm here. I don't know why you individuals have been brought up to this elevation, so to speak. I don't know what she's here for. I don't know what machinations other than my father, what he's willing to share. She grips the desk again. At that one. I don't know anyone's motivations other than that.
Um, can I tell in some way if she's being truthful or if she's holding back information?
Absolutely. I'll
Gonna
allow you to
probably
have
be a bad roll, but
I'll give you manipulation integrity on this one.
ooh,
Yeah. Anyone else can sit
did you
there and
say?
roll as well, cunning or manipulation and integrity.
Ugh.
3.
0.
Omnos, would you like to spend momentum since you were curious about this?
If everyone's okay with me spending one, then
Sure.
I would do so.
However much you want
You
to spend,
don't
doesn't have to be one.
technically need to ask for our permission if you only want to use one, right?
Well, I mean, even if I don't have to.
I appreciate it. I
Huh?
do.
It's because it doesn't, yeah, like you can spend.
I'm just like, yeah, give me XP. Great.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Love
it's
it.
so early in the session, you know?
Fair. Okay. From what y'all can tell, she's not hiding anything except for like maybe her father, what her father's asking. Yes, she it is correct. She is a Scion. She's been quote unquote tier wise, just to get use meta language to make it easier to explain. Tier wise, she's been a hero longer than you guys have,
Hmm.
but that doesn't give her any insight into why certain things are going on. Lou, it kind of matches up with what Sun Wukong was kind of explaining when he said about it, is that Sun Wukong, in regards to Ao Ru specifically, was like the Azure Dragons making moves. We can't openly act against him because of the celestial bureaucracy. Keep an eye on her to see what she's doing.
Yep.
Um, but like even then, um, and I don't know how much that you guys have told each other, in regards to like what Inari was telling Virginia, which was help out those around you, make sure those under your care stay safe, type of thing. Um, so they all have their different motivations. But when it comes to Aojinru specifically, she's can't give you on a general question like why are scions popping up more often. She can't answer that question. Um, why she's here, she could answer, but she's probably not going to yet.
Might be a shot in the dark here, but like I mentioned previously that we're new at this sort of thing. Isn't it surprising that we, I don't know, have been activated, or what, I don't know what the word is.
You've had your. She kind of seems to be searching for a word. I used elevation.
Kind of like that, yes?
Is it weird? Things like this haven't happened for quite some time.
It is
You
weird
don't
because,
say,
like,
mutters ominous.
we've had our elevation a couple days ago. I'm trying to keep that a bit more vague.
Mhm.
And suddenly there's mythical creatures traipsing through London and fighting with the locals.
Is it suddenly? Well, fighting with the locals, sure. I haven't really seen much in regards to that. But is it really suddenly that mythical creatures have appeared?
So openly? Yeah, I think so. The ones I know of tend to focus on their own goals and only involve people as necessary. That fight did not seem necessary.
The and she kind of sits there thinking about it for a moment. The emotions are it's kind of like as people are watching, it's kind of a sine wave of emotions related things. Like she's calm and then she kind of gets annoyed, either partially with questions or partially with the fact that she's having difficulty explaining. Um type of thing. But she kind of sits there for a moment. She goes, I think part of it is, were you looking before when it came to other creatures? I am not saying that the fight is justified or anything. And to be perfectly honest, if anything had come up in regards to it, it's noted in quite a lot of other places. Across the Atlantic over there, we hear about things being out of the ordinary all the time. It's almost like a drama these days. Um, but from what I'm aware of, a lot of people, especially, they don't acknowledge it. And so maybe next time when you're out, take a look. See if you hear the clipping of hooves instead of shoes, from people walking around type of thing. But no, I do agree that creatures coming forward and fighting out of nowhere is odd. Question is, are you willing to look into? Are you volunteering to look into it then, or should I take care of that on my own?
Do you want us to work for you?
I'm not going to say no for people who are looking to either help or to look into some things. So
Because I'm a freelance.
maybe we both can get ours.
We can certainly figure out like what you want and what you think is a fair price for it. At this time, I will release my tense grip on the polearm. I will whisper, "Unchanged," and it will turn back into the small carver knife.
There will be, at the mention of, well, deals being made, basically, there's a
Deals, you
glint
say?
in Omnos's eyes. A very hungry look.
Omnos goes Cheshire Cat.
Yep.
Lou folds his arms again and says, I will not work with this gang.
Is she that gang?
She has neither confirmed nor denied it.
I'm gonna get her to confirm or deny it right now.
I will look over at her.
Okay. So, Lou is looking to figure out if she is working with or for this gang.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if she's sitting in that chair because she's running the place.
Go ahead and roll me. I'm going to tell you what she says. Go ahead and roll me intellect or cunning and integrity, because it's how you're going to check.
5 successes.
Her response is carefully, you do not have to work with him. This is something for me. She's going to make a roll. I'm going to do this in front of the board. Now, technically, what this is called is unfortunately, this is called recruiting lackeys because she's an antagonistic stack block.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make that roll in regards to it. 10. Gotta figure out how to do that better.
That is one.
It is one success. In comparison to lose 5. She's not running the place.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, when she was acting coy, she knows what the Silent Storm is.
Mm-hmm.
And while this gang is not the Silent Storm, this gang, or she, is kind of seeing in if it should be brought in to a higher fold related thing, on if the people here should be trusted. It's kind of like, the best analogy that I have is like when the district manager comes in type of thing. And she's kind of taking a look around. She herself, the other end about this is with 5 things of integrity, as she's taking a look at you, the emotions in her shift to a more eager, I want a deal type of thing, especially with a Scion. And she does not want to use these people, but in bids for power on her own, she is willing to use or to get whatever means necessary to do that. So to answer your question, right now she is in charge, but that's due to things outside of her control. However Lou interprets that, it's up to you.
I
But
think I'm
it
done here.
definitely...
And then Lou leaves.
I glance over at Finru
Mhm.
as Lou leaves, and I'm sorry, I don't think we can come to an agreement at this moment. And we will give a quick I think I'll give a quick head nod or a bow and follow. Yeah, I will follow him.
He looks over to Omnos.
Well, Omnos will not leave just yet. What sort of work did you have in mind?
Find out about that quite rude individual and what exactly they're after is what I had in mind.
I'm sorry, what did you say? There's some noise from outside. I am having a
No
hard
worries.
time hearing.
She said, find out about that quite rude individual and what she's after, if you don't mind.
Well, I'll be upfront. I'm not entirely certain investigation is my strongest suit, but I can do my best. In return, I need at least an oath that you're not working with a particular other, shall we say, organization. And I will need an agreement that you will not side with them
Okay.
against me.
So, what I'm gonna need from you
Mm-hmm.
is a very carefully worded request. For a few reasons here. Because she's willing to sit there and do that, especially depending on what you on the organization that you mentioned, which I believe we know about the game is going to be the Theoi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in regard, what I need carefully worded to see what she can say in response to that is that she is not working with
The
the
theory.
Theoi.
Yeah.
Is that in
Correct.
any way? Is that specific individuals out of curiosity?
It is in any way working with them.
Okay, with that. Okay. Okay. Absolutely.
And that she will not ally with them against him.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, in regards to, like, this type of exchange, she's like, oh, yeah, no, that's fine. This gets me what I want. I don't mind cutting or burning any bridge that would possibly be there in regards to it.
Yeah. I think from Omnos's perspective, finding out a bit of information, that's not too high a price for him either. Like, he can always try to do that, but, he might not find out anything, as far as he's concerned.
I believe we said that costs a point. So, are you binding this out of curiosity?
Yes.
Okay, so that would cost a point of momentum, if I recall correctly. It's pinned
Uh,
in your thing. It's not on that. I'll get that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't actually know.
Yeah, I said momentum because it was originally imbuing a point of legend, which doesn't make sense now that I know what that is. But yeah. Okay. So, yes, she will agree to that, and I'm just going to change. I'm just gonna change that. But she's very. She pauses for a moment when you bring out the oath rod, and seems to weigh it in her mind and decides that the information is worth more to her than what you can ask. And the only people that are around to see this is David and the couple of guards there. But the magic takes its root, and you know, on a little ledger back in your Nementon, a new name is written. Okay.
Ding.
And then what would you like to do after that, Omnos?
Well, I'll say, all right, I'll try and provide you with the information you seek.
Thank you.
Until then, and he'll give a bit of a wave, and then he'll pause briefly and say, "Oh, and if you need any help with some other issues, I'm sure we can negotiate further." And then he'll leave unless she says anything.
She will let you to the rest of your day. Virginia and Lou, you have a few moments before Omnos
We
comes
would
back
wait it
in.
outside.
Mhm. Out of the room, specifically?
Yeah.
Okay. When you leave Omnos, do you shut the door?
Probably yes.
Okay. And after that, do you individuals leave this building?
I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
Got anything else to do here?
On your way out,
Mhm.
anyone can make me cunning or intellect, medicine, or survival before you get to the stairs to start heading down. Okay.
3.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Big number.
Omnos and Lou, from the shut door, there's some loud noises. Lou, you recognize the aspects of a body being yeeted, and hitting something. Virginia, especially with a medicine check,
Mm-hmm.
that is that's a little bit more force than one can normally expect to throw a fully grown individual. But it is as you guys are heading on the way out.
I pause for a moment, glancing at my companions. That's not a good sign.
Are we supposed to check that? Omnos looks to the others. Or is this a case of none of our business?
Maybe did all just dramatically leave. But also, I honestly have no idea.
Like, I don't feel the need to step in, but I also don't feel the need to really go back to discuss any terms of working together.
Well, no one's hired me to keep track of whatever it was, so it's...
But they did hire you?
we talked.
That is not a question. That's not an answer to my question.
No, but I don't particularly
have a
see as...
problem with you working with them. I just won't.
I don't particularly see as I need to give an answer.
I think it's important to know where our allegiances lie.
For what reason have you hired me? And he raises an eyebrow.
I've not. You're right. But we have been working together. And I personally think it would be a good idea to continue that, don't you?
Possibly. I can't say I've seen much enthusiasm from your side to further my particular interests. So as of right now, I feel like I'm just offering to work for free, and that doesn't sound very beneficial for
And
me.
what is there anything I can help you with at this time? Because I haven't heard you asking for help.
No, it is a bit too early for me to make my moves. I am eager, but not suicidally so. I've died once, or depending on how you look at it, possibly many times. I'm not eager to go back to being dead. And who knows, maybe next time I'll get a second chance.
Of size, and I think by this time we're out of the building.
If you're walking and talking, absolutely.
And I think I'll stop for a moment and lean against the building.
Notably,
Mhm.
the noises of combat from further down the way have stopped.
Okay.
How's the weather? Is it still stormy?
It's beginning to let up. It's definitely like I don't want to give too much
I
away.
have a purview for this.
Well, you do have a purview for this.
I get to know perfect foreknowledge of the weather and climate for at least a day in advance.
So part of me is sitting there thinking, like, have you ever seen somebody like get halfway through a project and then realize that they either got the wrong things for the project or kind of messed up? That's what the weather sense is right now. But you do get the sense that it should go back to what it was before.
To spring then.
Uh,
Okay.
mhm. Yeah, it's kind of like the little the little weather person in your head is just kind of like, I don't fucking know. This is strange. It
Just
wasn't supposed to be like this.
scribbling on the green screen with crayons.
But yeah, it should go back to your regularly scheduled spring before too long.
The weather in spring here is shrug.
All right.
We have had full kinds of weather in one day in spring before. It was great. One of them was hail.
Oh, lovely.
Unfortunately. But with talks like this, Virginia just leans against the building and says, I've been working with a cell of hunters, specifically monster hunters. And the thing about a hunt is you need to know who's got your back. It doesn't sound like you've got mine or I've got yours.
No, I suppose it doesn't. But you see, in my lives, I don't rely on simple trust. I make binding agreements of a more contractual
Yeah,
sort.
It's kind of sad, to be honest.
I was gonna say.
He merely shrugs. With a sufficiently binding contract, at least, people will keep their oath or suffer the consequences.
Ooh, question: what happens if they don't?
Actually, I don't remember what it says on the oath roll on that point.
So, Saints and
It's like-
Monsters was recently released. For
It's
those
like,
of you that are a
this
little
is-
bit interested.
This is relevant to my interest because I
This
made one of
is.
those deals.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can say what bound by oath does.
There are some aspects in regards to it, and it's definitely something that I need to that I need to work. Generally speaking, um, whoever breaks an oath to Omnos, in order to will suffer an injury condition. It could be bruised, it can be whatever. Will suffer an injury condition, a physical one.
Mm.
And should Omnos wish it, because the Tuatha and the Gaul were relatively close, could give them the condition hunted by the wild hunt.
Oh.
Mm.
And then additionally, the next roll you make botches automatically. So
The next thing you do just doesn't work.
But does
but
Omnos say
he
that?
will answer with just a big grin. If there's an actual question of consequences from a
Yeah.
character.
Mhm.
Lou raises his hand and says, "What happens if you break the oath?"
Well, I mean, I assume that Omnos would know himself what
Mhm.
happens.
Even if you weren't entirely sure beforehand, you do now.
Yeah. So he gives his best intimidating cold grin and asks, "Well, have you heard of the Wild Hunt?"
Have
I
I?
would, I would say you've probably been in this area long enough to at least hear stories of it.
Vaguely.
Well,
Fairies,
let's
right?
just say that Virginia here isn't the only one who can call in a hunt.
Okay.
Whoa, hold on. I'm not saying anything about calling in a hunt on people. What you're suggesting is a little bit extreme for my taste.
Omnos's face darkens a bit, and I mean, he doesn't like. I think that the impression he's given off for the most part is that he doesn't care much to get involved
Mhm.
with things. Like he doesn't care much about anything. But here it looks like he's very passionate about this,
Mm-hmm.
and he says through almost gritted teeth, "The breaking of oaths is a very serious offense. The response is proportionate to the trust being broken. Do not give an oath lightly. Why give it if you aim to break it? If you don't aim to break it, then simply don't."
A promise does not have to be an oath for me to keep it. But to threaten someone with those consequences, that is not in any way, shape, or form a social contract. That is extortion.
I offer my services. I offer powers and help that few others could offer. My price is proportional to what I give.
And
And I
the
will not
risks
have
are
people scam me.
not proportional the way I see it.
Then simply don't make a contract. And he shrugs and goes back to a more carefree sort of expression.
Virginia's expression remains dour.
Understandable.
Bit of a note, not that I think Omnos would. Technically speaking, if Omnos also broke their end of the agreement, the people are able to call a wild hunt on Omnos as well.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. They take oath breaking very seriously.
I understand.
Oh no, I'm not saying that in regards to like Virginia. This is not the voice of whomever talking to Virginia. It's just their whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. How does Lou take the fact that the wild hunt can be called upon if Lou breaks their oath?
Well, I was thinking, like, well, I wasn't gonna break it anyway. But now I guess I have extra motivation.
And in any case, I mean, like, come on, you have the Monkey King on your side. It's not like it's so
I could
disproportionate
just
here.
hide in the Isle of the Peaches and Trees, and they will never find me.
Okay. So,
I
what would you
think
guys like to do?
at this time, not really knowing what to do about what Virginia feels is a very strict and
Mhm.
somewhat manipulative way of thinking from Omnos. I think that Virginia is going to try and stealthily leave this scene.
Sure. Are people paying, or do you guys want to pay attention to Virginia at the moment? Before I make rolls and counter rolls, or ask for rolls and counter rolls.
Think for Omnos's part, this discussion is pretty much over. Like, to him, it's like, well, you know, you don't want to make a deal with me, don't make a deal with me, but don't expect my help. What's the problem? I see nothing wrong here. I'm right. I'm divine.
Lou?
Lou will probably be paying attention because he's like looking between these two, like, oh no, an argument.
Mom, Dad, no, don't fight.
This would be, I would say this will be a cunning subterfuge from Lou.
Okay.
You're specifically stealth, so you get your enhancement on this one. Virginia, that would be dexterity subterfuge from you.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I just don't need. I just need to make sure that I
Get more than one.
get more
Don't
than
pull a
one.
weasel. You'll be fine.
Is this still the same scene as our encounter with our Shinru?
I mean, if you want to imbue the legend again and do something else, you can.
please make it still the same scene so that my boon can still be active.
Sure. Okay. There you go.
Okay. Then I still have the mobility of the fox.
I believe that gives you 2 enhancement in
Okay.
regards to animal aspect.
And I just want to sneak.
You just need a success.
Oh, never mind.
You're fine.
Yeah. Virginia leaves the scene unseen, I think.
As you're kind of contemplating aspects of the wild hunt and what that may or may not mean in regards to that, Lou, Virginia seems to vanish.
And when they notice that Virginia is gone, they're just like, oh, it's just me and the guy that she knows better than I do. Fuck.
There is that.
Well, I think I'm gonna go home.
Alrighty.
See you around?
And he, Omnos looks around and only then realizes that Virginia isn't there anymore and blinks a bit and then shrugs.
So, see you around, I guess.
Sure. Storyteller, can I access my Nemeton anywhere?
I believe so.
Yeah. In that case, Omnos is going to run Okay, because we said it was a piece of jewelry, right? That was the key.
It is the piece of jewelry is a memento. Yes, it is specifically a gilded tongue ring, tongue piercing, for reasons.
Yeah, I sort of, I think I know where you're going with that.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah,
be,
that is
be,
what it is.
though
You do not
I
need to
was
have it in yourself, type of thing.
I was more actually thinking or having a different mental image. But anyways, I'll activate that and just go back to my Nometon.
Um, something like things in regards to like mementos and relics and stuff like that, you can change their appearances if you want to.
Well, I mean,
I
I'm more so going to make it even more like eye-catching, because I was thinking,
absolutely
oh God, is it the Tuatha An in the Wheel of Time?
the
It's,
Tuatha on Miep, yes.
yeah, I seem
Mhm.
to recall they had piercings with chains going from, was it ear to
No.
nose?
Yeah.
I believe it was nose, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking either that or ear to tongue chain.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
uh, that is going to be his new look, I suppose.
Whenever he wants to sit there and get that done.
Yeah.
It's just that Ogma had been holding on to this and was like, I think a spike is a little bit garish.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, it's gonna be garish anyways, eventually.
Do
in which
I
case he's probably just
see
roll his eyes.
him going to the place? And what does that look like?
It's
I don't know if Storyteller has any
kind of
suggestions or if some gateway just opens up in thin air or what happens.
it's kind of like a it are you barring Lou from your Nementon? Just in general type of thing.
No,
Okay. So it's kind of
particularly
like
not since they have an oath together.
mhm. So the air shimmers as it's less like kind of appearing out of nowhere, but it is kind of like a bridge over an alleyway kind of comes up and becomes a gateway, not into Terra Incognita that Lou's been to, albeit however briefly, but go ahead and roll me a cunning survival check just to see how much did you get. Just as you're walking away or stopping, taking a look.
Survival. 2.
Um, I mean, there's a lot of trees and foresty stuff in the middle of the city, in the middle of this alleyway that wasn't there before. Sounds of like a spring. Um, there's kind of
Something
a few
moving that
voices.
looks kind
Yeah,
of vaguely.
there's a couple of voices, and one of them just kind of goes, "Oh, yeah, no, boss is coming," type of thing, as Omnus walks through.
Huh. I gotta get something like that. I
Yeah.
was gonna head home.
Okay.
And on the way, just
Mhm.
when he gets home, he's gonna send a text to Virginia just asking, "Are you okay?" But also on the way, he is gonna when he happens to pass by a drain, he's just gonna throw the wallet or whatever he stole down there.
What do you want to steal?
Nothing.
Well, no, I meant like would it be a phone or wallet in comparison related type of thing? Because I know you mentioned
Uh,
either.
1 for phone, 2 for wallet.
Okay.
2. This is wallet then.
Mhm, mhm.
I just chucked it straight down the drain without looking what's in it.
Fair enough. Um, but yeah, so the message is sent.
Very quickly it goes to red, and very soon a response comes. Yeah, got some bad vibes off of Omnos there. Doesn't seem like the type of person I would work together with.
It's like, well, you're not no longer than me.
I don't know him much. I know that he comes along with the druids, but Miss Chie has a deal with them. I don't know if the deal is with Omnos or with the druids and he helps the druids, or what kind of power structure there is. The way he sets up contracts smells fishy. And if anything were to happen and you break your oath, I'll try and help you. Okay?
I wasn't planning on it, but thanks.
I know. You seem like a trustworthy type.
I just don't go back on my word.
I try not to either. I don't need to be hunted by elves and magic for that, though.
Oh god, what if they send the cats?
That there's a longer
Just a
pause.
horde of cats!
There's a longer pause there. And then Virginia sends back. Right. Those seem mean. Like, I've just Googled some things. Those seem mean.
Yeah, just a giant horde of angry cats.
Don't want. Do not want.
What is Virginia up to?
I think
Yeah,
Virginia,
anyway.
after her visitation, will have brought the information from Inadi to Olaf,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she'll try and check in what their plans are for the Morag hunt.
So it's been a little bit. It took some time to kind of get through the book,
Mm.
cross-reference it with existing laws, and then depending on the weaponry that they want to use in order to make this as quick and easy as possible, they have to wait for permission, pretty much. And so it's kind of like while they're waiting for permission, you step in. And Olaf's going, all right, so as I go into the wrong ads in regards to them. So what we're gonna do here for a second is we have to what I'm thinking is because we ourselves are not aquatic, is we're gonna have to split off into a lot of small teams. Especially because yeah, Virginia, how you doing?
Afternoon. At ease. Just checking in to see how far you are with the operations.
Well, it's kind of tough. It's less figuring out what to do. It's easy enough. This guy's old and ornery, got to get rid of him. But the problem is getting him into an area where that is the easiest thing to do. And it's kind of tough because we cannot effectively outswim a Morag.
No, true. I don't have much experience with that either.
It kind of scoots over a little bit if you want to approach. Just kind of see
Mhm.
like a map with a couple of tributaries that come in. One that kind of go. Actually, yeah, one that kind of goes out after a little bit. Um, and he's kind of got like a little kind of like little boats, what look like a battleship, plastic icons type of things.
Okay.
Is he's kind of using for different things. So what I'm thinking is when we're able to locate him, which probably won't be too hard using bait, we'll probably be able to get him cornered, but we don't want him to escape if he catches on a little bit too early.
Hmm.
Type thing.
I've been working on some things. Don't know how effective it'll be underwater, but I picked up some skills for like close combat.
Nice. All right. Do you want to try them underwater? Get some practice in, see how you do.
Um, yeah, might as well.
All right. Sure. I'm gonna make a roll on you real quick.
Okay.
He's gonna try to suss out your vibes. Are you trying to hide your vibes, or are you trying to be open with your vibes?
Uh, I think, yeah, I specifically came here to get away from the vibes, so I think I'm hiding them somewhat.
Okay. Um, I'm just gonna change that for a moment. Go ahead and make a manipulation subterfuge.
Manipulation subject. Okay,
Excellent.
go. That is 3 successes.
Would you like to spend momentum?
No.
Okay. Uh, so I rolled an 8, 9, and 10, and then I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't roll another success, and he didn't. So we'll lean that more towards you. He goes, oh, alrighty then. Go ahead and get changed, and if you want to, we can find a pool or something to practice in.
All right.
Yeah, he goes, well, yeah, why don't we all take a break from this for a moment and see, make sure equipment's ready. Just kind of starts delegating tasks,
Mhm.
type thing.
Have we ever had like an aquatic hunt before?
Not often.
Not often. Okay.
Mm-mm.
But if there have been previous instances, Virginia would have gotten something like um uh neoprene diver suit.
I think it's closer to amphibious hunts, or like you were prepared
Mm,
for amphibious hunts related thing, not specifically aquatic type of
okay.
thing.
Um, if that's the case, then yeah, Virginia's probably like tries to get a bathing suit from somewhere where she's stashed some stuff.
Hmm. Okay. Man, either in between finding a pool on its own and finding a place to deep enough in order to get that taken care of. Olaf kind of goes back, talks to some people to get some of his stuff done. Um, but you were able to get some practice in. Now I have a question.
Mm.
Are you imbuing animal aspect during this or
That
not?
might actually be a good point. Um I think it would I think I would, yeah.
Because you don't have a limit to your beasts yet, type of thing.
That's correct.
Um, but yeah, so like even if halfway through in regards to it, eventually afterwards, probably after the better like a half hour or so of this type of thing, because getting there, getting the stuff set up, whatnot. Olaf kind of calls it in and goes, I don't know what the heck that you got or that you were practicing, but I have never seen anyone swim like that. It's impressive, kid.
Thanks. Stuff's happened.
Well, if you want to talk about it, I'm willing to sit here and listen, but your business is your business.
I think after like a couple of test laps, I think I'll go and sit on the edge of the pool, near like my bag with my stuff, and I will pull out the carver knife, kind of like rolling it between my fingers as well I can, and I think I'll tell Olaf some of the stuff that that has happened with Inedi.
How much?
I don't go into details,
Mhm.
but I don't hold back.
Would you
So,
answer questions if he has them?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Um, do you explain the Naginata?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So as you kind of sit there, talk about it for a moment, and kind of explain it, I gotta make a roll for him real quick.
Okay.
He's in the know, but how much does he know is the question.
That is a good question.
Not a whole lot, it
Hmm.
seems. Um, but he kind of makes a couple of comments in regards to relics type of thing.
Mhm.
He doesn't know necessarily what they are. Kind of makes a mention in regards to it. Takes a lot of the stuff rather well, but he's also used to seeing weird things,
Hmm.
at least at this point, type of thing. He goes, well, I guess you were destined for good things, kid.
Uh, I don't know. Me and Destiny are. I don't know if I would tie myself down to a concept like that.
Well, even if that's not necessarily the case on you tying yourself down to it. Well, the fickle thing about destiny is even if you don't believe in it and it happens to be a thing, then that's kind of something that you're going to have to deal with eventually, isn't it?
Hmm.
Don't worry too much about it. I'm sure it's not going to be that big of a deal. But
Yeah, I guess not. I'm sorry. The kind of struck a sore nerve. The Destiny thing.
um,
Yeah, there's this friend, I guess you could say.
mm,
They're a little strict when it comes to favors.
strict when it comes to favors.
Yeah, like when I do stuff for you guys, like I mean like there's a give and take, of course, but you don't write contracts for that. Like say if either of us break the contract, then the other party can sue for this, I don't know, an amount of money or something.
Well,
We
sure,
we don't.
right. For a few reasons. One, there's trust built up between us. I mean, I've known you for quite some time, and I know you're good for it. And the other thing about it is, well, and he kind of like
because of my
knows, and
grandpa.
he's not. No. He knows like a lot of the stuff that Virginia does elsewhere, type of
Mhm.
thing. And he doesn't necessarily approve, but he's not as much on it as Miss Chie is, type of thing.
Hmm.
And he goes, to be perfectly honest, in regards to some of the things that you do, you can get in serious trouble for it. So if there was a paper trail coming back to you, that'd be a problem now, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah, like that's a whole different aspect of it. Yeah. So
Oh, go ahead.
I have this other friend who helped me with getting to work, uh, work out how to use the Naginata,
Mhm.
and like because of that, I would do a whole lot for him.
Mhm.
But I don't know, the feeling of if there's something that I can help with immediately, it's tied down, it's shackled into these terms of contracts and risk, and it doesn't sit well with me. You bring up the whole destiny thing, and it's just
Here's part of the thing. I don't know your friend.
hmm,
I don't know what type of experiences they might have had. I don't know types of things they might have been through. Some people need reassurances. I'm not going to say what they're doing is right. I'm not going to say what they're doing is wrong. I'm not going to make you talk about it because it's making you uncomfortable. But there is a possibility that they may have been betrayed by people close to them, so they can't take people at their word.
that's their issue, not mine.
Sure, but it feels like, and like, you don't like, are they forcing you into one of these agreements?
No, but I thought that we were working on something,
Hmm.
and so like those two friends, like one, we were dealing with some people, and they didn't want to work with this particular group,
Sure.
and so to show loyalty, I said to that group, like, I can't work with you right now because, well, um, and I think that the other person, contractor, as it were, I think that he did make a deal. And that just feels awkward. Like, we've built up some rapport already, but it doesn't seem like that makes a difference to him.
Have you asked them if the other parties felt awkward about it?
I think I glanced at my phone for a moment. Mm,
Like, here's part of the thing, right? I don't know. So, whether or not it is, like, we're friends, right, Virginia? As
yeah.
just an example here, real quick. And you're mostly good about making sure that you don't do anything that went against some of the stuff that I might have to deal with or whatever.
Mhm.
But while I might be disappointed if you did, I wouldn't hold it against you because I know that you've got to do what you've got to do. And again, I don't know the details in regards to a lot of this stuff. Frankly, doesn't seem like it's my business to know. But if everyone else is okay with it,
I
kind of
guess I'm
shrug.
just, I guess I'm just a little disappointed that I thought we built up something like, I don't know, a team, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
Being can take many different forms. I have a lot of different things in regards to it.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I think maybe it's a good idea to test this thing underwater.
No, because that's got a pointy end, and I'm gonna get cut if you try that underwater against
I'm
something.
not against you, but like my friend taught me uh, some forms that
Alright.
I might want to replicate underwater to see how well I can move.
Honestly, when it comes to stuff like that, and is just absolutely no offense to anyone right now, I am more of somebody that likes to keep things or keep my feet firmly on something solid. So I don't know if there might be a different and he kind of just goes around in the spots that you're not fighting on necessarily a 2D plane anymore. It'll be a
Mm-hmm.
3D plane.
Yep.
So adapting the things might not necessarily work. But if you're willing to try, you'll figure something out type of thing
Uh,
with
I think
different
it's
things. But
mostly just me training by myself
mhm,
for this part.
mhm. Um, but yeah. As you're sitting there and doing that, Blue, you head home.
Yes, I do.
Right. So, what do you do when you get home? I will say, since Virginia snuck away, and since you probably walked down the street, a lot of the stuff's done. People are kind of nursing injuries, are kind of being escorted, but the building is completely fucking trashed.
Mm-hmm. Is Werewolf guy okay?
He looks the best out of what a lot of people sat there and handed.
If
Probably
if
because
if
he's a
if
werewolf.
if he sees me, I give him a thumbs up. It's like told you had it.
He rolls his eyes, but doesn't really do much. Again, it goes back to being the
Yeah,
boss in that immediate area.
and then I go home.
Mhm. What do you do when you're at home?
Blair's just gonna go into the room and just collapse on the bed.
Get some rest, or
And gonna pull out the phone again and send a message to Sun Wukong about
um,
this, just
mhm,
basically saying, telling him what Ao Jinru said about the storm.
okay. Um, Sun Wukong is very open in regards to it. He's got a like little neat little icon type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the messages, like kind of almost immediately after you signed, it's kind of like he takes a picture of like it's either a sunrise or a sunset. You can't really tell where he's at the moment. But it's definitely kind of like an expanse related thing. It's just kind of like where he's at for whatever reason. Who knows? But
Hashtag
uh,
crushing it.
something like that. He explains in he explains the history of the Silent Storm to the best of his knowledge. It really only came on his radar when Ao Guang sent people to kind of turn it from roving bandits and pirates to something with a lot more organization. Um, and that's when a lot of the celestial bureaucracy started paying attention to it because he's now taking direct notice or direct thing about it. However, they are pretty well secretive about a lot of their aspects, and it just seems to be varying power grabs in a way for Ao Guang to flex his authority.
And I got the impression that she was basically seeing if those guys would be worth joining the group.
Basically, yeah.
I will tell him that.
He goes, well, do you think that they're worth fodder for a dragon? He kind of shrugs.
I may be biased, but I hate their guts, so
Fair enough. If they are, it might be worth finding that other person and seeing what their issue is.
do you know anything about the people summoning yokai?
I'm not the one
Like,
to ask about that, but I can ask a couple of people that I might know.
'cause there are a lot of them.
Tell you what, I'll put out some feelers and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
And kind of sends like a thumbs up related thing, but it's
Mm.
his little avatar type of thing.
And he just lies back on the bed thinking, "Testing a god is weird.
He's
It's
got
weirdly normal.
personalized emoji.
It's weirdly normal."
No, he uses Snapchat, so it's little Bitmojis. It's always like
Yeah,
little things that he can sit there and
yeah.
do.
This is weirdly normal.
Hmm. It's also Sung Wukong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Is there anything else that you do after decompressing? And
Unless anyone from my family wants to talk to me about anything, no.
it's just casual conversation. Uh, Mom, Makoto, and Uncle Shen have not told anybody. Um, because it's kind of like that's your thing to tell if you want
Mhm.
to.
Yep.
So it's just basic things like your sister's sitting there talking about school. Dad's relatively quiet because he's tired.
Dad's probably
Uh,
having a nap.
mhm,
Blue does like if Dad is having a nap, Blue will like put a blanket over him.
mhm. Mom does ask so who put the oodles of money in the box at one point?
Blue just kind of slips out of the room. It's like, "Well, no."
Wasn't me running movie. Um, but all in
Just
all,
don't ask about it, please.
it's a relatively pleasant um, din- dinning, d- dinner and evening, a
Yeah.
evening, if you would. Um, Omnos,
Yes.
what, what are you up to in your Lemonton?
Um. Well, I have siblings, right?
It's kind of
Sort
quote
of.
unquote siblings, but yes.
Yeah. Not in the traditional sense, perhaps.
Hmm.
Well,
In the sense that most pantheons are all related to each other somehow.
individuals who came into existence in similar fashion to me with similar backgrounds and
Hmm.
supposedly similar ties. I might want to see if I can sort of find them or get a lead on how to come into contact with some of them and see, if they've awoken to memories or powers like me.
Um, with the exceptions of those that have made it to other pantheons,
Mhm.
because they did not die,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Um, there's there's a few ways, knowing who you know, that you can that you can find, type of thing. Beltran kind of stays in Terra Incognita. He's the one that's always there, always near the wheel. I should probably write these down because I'm going to forget them.
You share
Uh,
them with me because otherwise I will too.
okay. I'm just going to go to your messages here real
Thank you.
quick. uh, I'm also like putting in their god name type of thing.
Mm.
A lot of the other gods, either around the same time or other like through different means, have gone to the world to do other things.
Hmm. I figured I wouldn't be able to get a hold of everyone or maybe even anyone, but I'll want to work on means of finding them, I think.
Mhm. The ones that you can't necessarily find are the twins. They just like to go and wander. They might be in Terra Incognita. They might be in the world. Who knows? Um, they might even. It's tough. Um, Hessus is easy enough to find. He stays near the I'll have to think of a different name for him. But he stays near where the druids are at. And I'm just kind of going through. Um, and Tara. Um, Tara's one that kind of comes back frequently, but they also are kind of full of wanderlust type of thing. Um, those are the three that are easy enough to find. Um, Everyone else is kind of tough to get a hold of. And I will put what that is later when I have a little bit more time to focus. That's not Beltand, it's Beltrand. Here. There we go.
Hmm.
But yeah.
And remind me again, which one was the Dirty Rotten Traitor? Was that Epona or was it someone else?
Um, Debatably, so if you mean the ones that might have gone to the Theoi, the Dirty Rotten
Hmm.
Trader is Epona.
Yeah,
Whether or not that was to be an inside person remains to be seen.
yeah. In that case, I might also want to try and put some sort of feelers out to see if there's any news of movement in that area.
In regards to Epona specifically, or just kind of like, are you trying to get in contact with Epona or see what Epona's up to?
Uh, More so see what she's up to, less so get in contact with, because I mean, if she's a dirty rotten traitor, then I might not survive getting in contact with Epona.
Mhm. Um, okay. Probably the best way to do that would be, um, if you could get a hold. So the best way to do that would probably to be getting a hold of Hessus, or whatever name I end up giving him, the Forester, because he can talk to the reincarnation of oh, Keistra told me the name of this one once. The Horned God of the Wild.
Turning us.
Yeah, Kiernanos. Who could probably get a hold of Epona because Wild and enforces stuff like that, or at least see it on some too. Um, but yeah, if the twins aren't, it's definitely going to be narrative telephone with Essos or Essos. Yes. Um,
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. So you go towards Anglesey, since that's where he'll be. As it's getting closer to evening, he's kind of bringing forth some aspects of lumber, whether it's for wood or to sit there and have them to do repairs or bring things up. Definitely has worked up a sweat enough to, and you might think that he just likes to be shirtless for whatever reason, but even in the even in this area, or in the spring air, he's kind of sitting there, and he goes, "Oh, hey, what's up, Omnos? Is everything good?"
Getting better, I'd say. Remembering things. Are things on your end?
About the same, all things considered. Uh, he is gonna make a thing. Like,
What was that
um,
last part you mumbled? Because I didn't.
oh, he's gonna make a roll real quick. I was
Oh.
rolling some things to see if he understood what you meant by remembering things.
Hmm.
Or remembering things how, out of curiosity.
Oh, you know. Past names, past friends, the fact that I have a past life, things of that nature.
Kind of taken aback for a little bit. He goes, well, uh, you're not the only one of us talking about stuff like that. But it seems as though he has not yet had his visitation.
Hmm. So, who else have you heard talk about these things?
Well, Cal, uh, when he comes in and talks about it, talks, which is rarely, but um, when he comes by, he's mentioned similar things. Haven't really heard much from anyone else lately, but
Hmm. Hmm. And then Omnos is considering whether or not he wants to involve him just yet, if he hasn't sort of woken up properly yet. Say you wouldn't have a way of getting some current news information on Epona, would you?
I wouldn't. I mean, I'm just here. Uh, I mean, from actually, he's gonna roll a check because he's not awakened yet. Could probably talk to some horses or something. I know she's a goddess of that.
True, true.
Um, but I mean, like, if we're trying to contact people through animals, I think Cal would probably be the better one to do that. I could leave him a message to talk with you. We'll meet you at home if you want.
Yeah, I'd be much obliged, but you also gave me another idea. But I would still want to chat, so if you wouldn't mind terribly.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
And yeah, don't hesitate to reach out well, if ever you have something you want to talk about.
Of course. Okay. Smiles.
Good to see you're
Uh,
doing okay, though. Keep up the good
yes,
work.
I'll do my best. And he goes back to stacking wood. Probably get a hold of Cal tomorrow or something like that, or whenever Cal decides to show up. Um, yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to do this evening?
Ah, just I think he'll just wait to see if anything comes of that later, and if not, then I have a spare plan that I'm probably gonna forget. But
You can write it down to me real quick.
yeah,
All right. That being said, either due to as things get later, there is no follow-up on a lot of the stuff that people are taking care of for the evening. Um, what happens in the morning, however, is ominous if you take a trip back to the world. Um, and those of you that are more into some of the news of the area, the riot has been um, reported, and the building was going to be chalked up as a loss or condemned, with
Huh?
the exception of the fact that somebody relatively rapidly, all things considered, if I can find this, is I have a cat on my lap now.
Very uncomfortable.
Is a individual who goes by Octavian Gaius, um, is already in talks to try to buy it for whatever reason. Um, Omnos, I want you to make me an intellect academics check.
yep.
Virginia, given your background, I want you
Nope.
to make a cunning subterfuge check.
Cunning
Would you
subterfuge.
like to spend momentum, Omnos?
Yes, I would. How much do we even have left? Because
I
I
think we have
don't think.
5. Oh,
Four.
Focus, you spent one to use the rod.
Mm-hmm.
How much do I get to spend?
Up to
It's
4.
you can use
Because
as
that's
much
how
as you
much you have
want.
left.
Like, okay.
Alright, then I will use 4 if that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I don't think the rest of us are gonna need it.
One success. Perfect. That face fills you both with dread and anger. Because as you look up Octavius's name, he changed his last name from Caesar. And Julius's genes have been quite strong through the ages. Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
with 4 successes. Octavius, did I say Octavius or Octavian? I think you said Octavian. Octavian. Um, Octavian, let me just pull him up real quick, as I have this. Octavian's one of the people that flexes wealth as and does some shady things. It's when it comes to a lot of the things that Octavian does, is Octavian does a lot of things for personal power. He's done violence, he's done bribery, he uses intimidation related aspect. But it's definitely your less legal contacts,
Mm-hmm.
whenever it comes up, go, no, we do not do any deals with him or people that are tied to him, type of thing, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of what happens. Um, that being said, it's kind of like the Kingpin from Marvel type of thing. He's been known to do a couple of good things in order to help people, but it's always with a caveat of, okay, I've scratched your back. You can scratch mine now, type of thing.
Understandable.
But anything that he does seems to be as though it could be for other people, but it also it's kind of like if you follow a lot of the stuff about Octavian, it gives you that sense of yeah, it could be, but this is just to line his own pockets or to make his own bed type of thing. But that's what you get with 4.
Hmm.
Oh,
Lou takes a look at the news and just rolls his eyes and is like, "Rich vultures wait 5 seconds before buying property challenge."
mhm. Okay. But with that, we have been going for a little over 2 hours. So I will go ahead and call it for the evening. I have been your storyteller, Alvarez. With me today, I have had the Destiny's foil Virginia, played by the Netherlad.
Is me.
Uh, Playing. I wanted to make a comment about stealing the wallet, not doing it, but I couldn't think of a snippy one before I started talking. But regardless, that was Lou who stole the wallet, so that would be Keister.
I just wanted to mildly inconvenience him, that's all.
Yeah.
It's a mild inconvenience. And then playing the Ever the Dealmaker Omnos, I have had him.
The hunt begins.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And
With that, we are done for this session. I'm going to quickly like end this stream because I want to talk with my party because stuff is happening. Oh. I wonder what comes next. As with the last few weeks, I don't know if this Wednesday stream is going to pop up, yes or no. If so, I will be doing some prep work for Aether Peak, which I am going to be playing this Saturday again, which I'm looking forward to. More backstories. I mean, yeah, there's some backstory stuff happening. But I think mostly for Omnos right now. So it's going to be curious to see how that will develop. But regardless of whether or not tomorrow's stream continues, I will be streaming on Friday to continue with Okami. And I hope to see you either tomorrow and or Friday. That said, I see that a VTuber friend of mine is also streaming. You'll go out fishing with friends. Exciting. I hope you have a lot of fun for this. We are going to raid Puffski. And you can use either of these messages to join us. I still haven't given Nightbot a sub. But oh well. With that said, thank you so much for being here. I am the Netherlad. I have been the Netherlad, and I will be the Netherlad for some time. Thank you all so much for hanging out, enjoying Scion Divinity Reborn. Thank you so much to Alvarez, Eastrith, and Minjoff for playing along. And I hope to see you all soon.
Speaking of marketing, one of today's greatest marketing triumphs in the entertainment field is video games. It's a business which has tripled in size in just 3 years. Ron Hendren went out in the field to bring us this special report.